Hi, Judy from Witchpeace Craft. Welcome to today's video, the week that was, my yarn adventures for this week. So I might have been the previous video or the yarn swap video, I got this Red Heart Aran parrot coloured yarn and was hoping to get more of it to do a project for my hubby. Well, I tracked it down and I got happy mail from me to me. So this came from, I did have it written down, the yarn store Darling Downs, Toowoomba. Toowoomba is about approximately 1,700 kilometres southwest of here, of Cairns. So it's a little yarn store in there who had an online shop, and I got the yarn and it was at a good price, plus packaging or mail freight was really good. Sorry, I should have cut this open before the video, and as you can see, they really packed my order in nice and tight. Yes, I got the right yarn. I'll show you. Sorry guys, should have done this. These aren't always that easy to open without cutting the yarn. So that's what I'm talking about. Red Heart Aran. And what I found out was that this is made in Bendigo, Victoria, at the Wangaratta Woolen Mills for Red Heart, and that's why you don't get it overseas. So I worked out I needed 4. I got 1 in the yarn swap, and I ordered 3 from Toowoomba. So Aran is a 4-weight, usual thing, 5.5mm crochet hook. And how many? 100% acrylic, 525 meters in each ball. So as you can see, it's a pretty big project again for hubby. And because freight was really good, there's a couple of extra things I saw. I wanted more Knit Pro sewing needles. I'll probably put those in a giveaway or a yarn swap because they were a good price. And this is really nice. Now I've got some knitting projects planned, and I wanted some special knitting zip markers, and these are called Zuni stitch markers, and they come in this little purse. I can't remember how many there is. I think there's about 12. And see, they are piece dove stitch markers for knitting. They just slip onto the needle. There you go. Piece dove. I think there's about 12, if my memory, yeah, there's 12. And they came in this little zip airline pocket pouch. So that was my little bit of happy mail from me to me. I also did some shopping during the week. I needed some buttons for the finished object I'll show you later. But when I was there, I went to the local Cairns Create across the road from work, a little craft shop that I like to support. And he's always had these wooden bee buttons, and they were $5 each. But this week he discounted them to $2 each, and I needed 3 of them. I got 3 little bee buttons. So that was one thing I bought from him. I bought these other buttons. I bought 3 because I wasn't sure. And these were to go on my finished object. I'll show you later. And I was a bit disappointed in the Addy bears that protect the end of your knitting needle kit. And I'm going to try the clover ones because they recommended the clover ones. I might actually do a review as the clover, what do they call them? Point protectors against the Addy. These are the small sizes, which I tend to use. So it's my little purchase from Cairns Create. And then the idea this year was I'd be on a yarn diet, as Jane from Scraptastic says. Basically, I would start a project, and if I would use the yarn in my stash, but if I needed a ball of yarn to finish it, I'd go and get it. Other than, you know, commissions or people ask me to make for them. So I'm currently working on my second Halloween project for the Halloween Make-Along 2020, hosted by Ricola's Crochet Crystal. I've nearly finished that, and I needed one ball of the Stallion 8-ply 4 Seasons, which is a spotlight yarn. Now this is supposed to be 8-ply, but it's very, very thin. I've used this a lot for fine projects. I find it doesn't split much, and it's lovely and soft. At the moment, it's $1.80 something a ball. Excuse me, video hiccups. So there you go, that's the Stallion, and I bought one ball of that because I need it to finish my project. I bought one Value Spot Saver because that was reduced down to $5 something. They had 30% off. I needed the red for another make-along I've started, and I bought one ball of that. So that was my yarn diet, wasn't it? Oh no. Who could resist? More Spot Saver. I bought 2 balls in the colourway Mint because I don't have this colour, so I blew my diet. I crashed on my diet. And then, like the little guy out of Lord of the Rings, oh, shiny, I saw Moonlight Soft Paillette by Rossetti. It's like a pink, and it's got little sequins on. This is a 3-weight. There's only a colour number. It's acrylic, 91% acrylic, 4% polyester. It's got a lot of, it's a lightweight 3, and you use a 4mm knitting needle or crochet hook. And I bought 4 of those. So yes, my yarn diet crashed when I went to Spotlight. It happens, but I'm back on the diet, so I say. And then I was at Lincraft looking for, before I bought the buttons from Cairns Create, thinking they'd have great buttons, and they had Lion Brand's Woolies thick and quick at half price. So it's normally about $9 a ball here, and I got it for $4.50. And I've been wanting to try a pattern in the chunky yarn because this is a 6-weight, super bulky. I've never used it before. And the pattern I've wanted to try is Rel's from the Dabbling Hook 2-button cowl. I've been eyeing this off for a while. I hope that's not flaring too much. And I bought that from her Etsy shop. I'll link all the yarn shop where I got the wool from in Toowoomba, or the yarn from, Rel's Etsy shop, because she's got some great patterns on there and stuff for sale, bags. So I bought 4 balls of the thick and quick in the colourway Russet, and I can't put it on, it's way too hot today. The 2-button cowl. Put that down. There you go. Now the buttons are purely for decoration. I really enjoyed doing this. It was hard on my hands because I have never used such a bulky weight yarn. Like 4-weight hurts my hands, but this, yeah, I really love it. What I'll do with it, who knows. I just wanted to make it. I've got about that much left from the second ball that it took to make. And she does tell you in the pattern how much yarn to estimate. I actually bought 4 balls, so I may try a hat pattern to match. But they were the buttons, see? I bought 3 because I thought, oh, 2's not going to do it. But yeah, the 2-button cowl from Rel at the Dabbling Hook. That is my only finished object. So then I kept thinking about the owl tea cozy I had seen up in Ravenshoe and not hearing from the lady. It's a vintage tea cozy, and I put on Instagram I was looking for it and went madly searching for it and couldn't get it. And then eventually I tracked down a lady on Etsy who used to sell the pattern and contacted her, and she did sell me the pattern. Now, I don't think this is the vintage one. It's based on the vintage. The pattern also has like a little bag you can make, owl bag, It was $9. It probably the most I've ever paid for a pattern, but I did really want it, and I got this on the Thursday night. It was very nice of her to actually, because I don't think she does much on her Etsy shop. She said life's very busy. However, I should have been patient and waited, because my yarn swap buddy Janice found me, and unfortunately I can't print it in colour because I only have black and white at home. Obviously I printed that one at work. The vintage tea cozy, the one I really wanted. Now that her pattern's quite good, but this, I think, I don't know. No, that's not the, that's the, one of them's the vintage tea cozy. The vintage tea cozy is more detailed, and it had more the shape that I wanted. That is actually a copy of hers, the original, just the tea cozy. I don't know what I've done. Hang on a sec, I'll see if I can find the vintage pattern. This is the vintage pattern that Janice sent me, and you can tell. It tells you that it's a DK weight or 8 ply. I don't think this one, I went right through it. I couldn't even see what yarn you're supposed to use. I guess you judge by the size of the hook. But this was the one I was chasing, and Janice found it for me. Just the one page with the vintage owl. They're very similar, I think, because this is more modern. She somehow worked out what it was. But Janice, thank you very much. This is very precious because I like vintage patterns. So I have been using more written patterns, and I still do tutorials, but written patterns, because when I went out west and there was no internet connection, it was like, well, I have to learn to read patterns again. And I really do enjoy patterns. I can take them anywhere, and I don't always have internet connection in Cairns. Currently in my area it's really bad because they're working on the big tower down the road and changing it all. I think it's going to 5G, I'm not sure. Anyway, that was my happy mail to myself, my acquisitions, broke my diet, and my finished objects. So in summary, thank you for all those people who've asked how I'm going. I guess if I interpret anything, inside of me is like a bubbling volcano, and every often something erupts. It's been happening since July, different things. Our back garden is currently an absolute mess because we're being forced to renovate half of it. I won't go into details. A lot of moving, that's why I'm in the dungeon. There's a lot of noise outside with equipment and Kevin moving things around. I'll just turn that around a bit. Which got me thinking, I watched a video or a channel that I had watched before but forgotten about. It's called Sacred Keep Tarot and Tea. It's an Australian channel. Chris is Australian, and she does like a general tarot reading and talks about tea. She has the most amazing tea cozy collection, and she has one of mine that she bought off me. And listening to her while I was working away at work, she has a lovely voice, and some of the things hit home, like the bubbling up, the butterflies, the way I feel when something else happens, and working on a project. Don't just jump in and do it, plan the project. So yesterday I was out in the garden doing my bit where I wanted things to go for me. And I was out there this morning, but it started raining, and not just sprinkling. The wet season is on its way. It's quite heavy, hence doing a video. And I really found her interesting. I'll link a link to her channel in the description below for those who are interested. Of course, she drinks tea, which I love. And yeah, it got me thinking about, I have a project in the back of my mind that I keep saying I'll do, but it requires a bit of planning and a bit of work. So yesterday afternoon, I decided I would clean out my yarn stash and I'd do an inventory. What a shock. You know, we keep those bits of yarn that are too big to throw out from finished projects, hence the bit that was left over from the cowl, and I put them in bags saying I'll make a scrap blanket. Well, there was heaps. I have now got 5 Ziploc bags of scrap yarn to go to charity. I put them all in like 3-weight or 8-ply, 10-ply, and bag them so, and each bag would make a scrap blanket. Trust me, there is so much yarn in there. And it also helped me with taking an inventory, like saying, for example, I've got 3 of these, but I need a 4th one, and trying to keep on my yarn diet of going out and buying one. I also put yarn aside for another yarn stash, a stash yarn swap, yarn that I couldn't think of a project I would use it for. But her tarot reading and things about life helped me focus on doing something positive towards this bigger project I want to do. The other shout out I'd like to give, because it's the Aussie shout out time, is to a channel, because I've been thinking about buying ice yarn again, because the Australian dollar is bouncing back very well at the moment, and it's worthwhile buying stuff from overseas. And I really like magic glids, but I keep thinking I want to try other yarns. I've never tried Picasso. I've never tried Rockstar, any of those. But I've been listening to, and it's quite a title for her channel, Say It With Squishy Yarn Crochet, because she had some ice yarns reviews from ice yarn when she did a big purchase. So make sure you check out the Aussie girls and you support the Aussie girls. Don't forget we're down here. At the bottom of the world, or as someone once sent me an email saying, the AOL end of the world. And yeah, support the Aussie girls and check their channels out, especially if you're interested in how you're feeling, your emotions. I really enjoyed Chris's reading, and I'm not really into that stuff. It's not like I go see a fortune teller, oh, I've got to have a tarot reading. I just enjoyed it. So that was it. I can't think of much else. Secondhand September, I've only had one photo posted, my make-along. I hope there are lots of people out there doing projects and ready to post, because it doesn't seem to be going very well at the moment. A couple of people have joined my make-along group, and hopefully we'll get some more photos in. Otherwise, it'll be a bit of a fizzer for a make-along. Can't think of anything else at the moment. I'm just going to have a drink of tea. So until next time, make sure you take care of each other. Stay safe. Have one crafty day. And if in doubt, make tea. Bye for now.